This episode of Hopecast is brought to you by 901 PT. Solve your pain and stay active for a lifetime. Movement is medicine.
Lights, camera, action.
You're tuned in to Hopecast, a monthly rundown of all things Chris Hope Foundation. Our host, CHF Executive Director Chris Hope and publicist Beth Wilson come together to share the latest news, upcoming events, sponsorship and volunteer opportunities, and so much more. Are you ready? Let's get started.
All right, we are so excited to be here today for a special edition of Hopecast. Welcome to Kayla White. We're so excited to have you here. Kayla is a certified child life specialist with Methodist Le Bonheur Healthcare. Welcome, Kayla.
Hi, I'm happy to be here.
We're so happy to have you here.
Well, hello there, my friend. It seems like it's been only a couple of days since I've seen you.
I wonder why.
It's good to see you again, see your smiling face. I know that we've been communicating for a few months now, and I think it's finally time to let everybody know some of the things that we do together, how it was created, and show them exactly what we have going on, which is the reason why you're here. And nobody can tell a story better than you. So we're just going to go ahead and jump right on in it, okay?
Yeah, so would love to just get a little bit of information about exactly what it is that you do, your role, and then specifically, most people, especially in and around Memphis, are very familiar with Methodist Le Bonheur Healthcare and the amazing healthcare system that it is. But talk to us a little bit about your specific role in your department, especially with some things with the Methodist Alliance and what's called Koala. Talk to us about that a little bit.
Okay, absolutely. So I've been a child life specialist for about 4 years. Most of that has been in like a brick and mortar hospital building. But for the past 6 months, I have been the child life specialist, the only one for the Koala program, which is hospice. So just to start, a child life specialist does a lot of things. A lot of people don't know what that role is, but my job is to support patients and families both in the hospital and once their journey has continued into the home. So that's done by education. I help kids understand what their diagnosis is in a very developmentally appropriate way. Procedure support. Kids have ports accessed or lines placed, blood drawn. We come up with a coping plan, try to make it easier, distraction, and what we call legacy building.
So what got you in this position? What is it about this position that you found a home, a place to work and be a job that you love?
So a lot of people don't like to talk about children and end of life.
Right.
It's scary. It's not something that we ever want to have to deal with in our personal lives. I have such a heart for this particular space. I think the trauma that happens when kids find out that they're dying, both for their parents, their siblings, and themselves, is more than most people will ever have to know. And if I can mitigate that in any way possible, if I can walk through these families' grief with them, help make it just a little bit better, a little less scary, then why would I not do that? I mean, it's very much a God-given passion, and it's been there kind of my whole life in little ways, things that led me to this place.
Awesome.
So I love it.
I love hearing you talk about your passion. It really does show through, and you obviously have to have a passion for it.
Without a doubt, yes.
To be in it and to be invested as you are. But that is such a good segue because I feel like that aligns so well with the Chris Hope Foundation and the reason in which Chris started this organization to begin with. So there's obviously a lot of synergy there. So talk to us a little bit about that, about how this partnership kind of happened and how the two organizations got connected.
It's funny. I think Dr. Cheryl Ferguson, I met her, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago. It was her and Deanna. I believe Deanna is her, was her colleague because Cheryl's not there anymore. I was friends with a mom whose son was a St. Jude patient. Of course, he was in hospice care. And they got to talking about me and the organization, and Deanna was like, well, we can use a connection like that, for the things that we do.
Yeah.
And met with them, and we had a great meeting, and it just kind of took off from there. I wasn't familiar with hospice, the program, and all the different things that you all provide. I mean, I was still pretty much in the learning phase, of child life and social work and what they do and all of those things. And I'd be the first to admit that was the best thing that ever happened to the Chris O Foundation, because some of the unique ideas that they had, like surprise birthday parties or providing their small gifts and all of their small needs, because not everything is grand. And, I was learning, and we were helping more and more and more families. And I don't know if well, I know you probably, well, you may know, when I was living at the condos not too far away, we turned their pool area into a beach, because this kid, before he passed, he wanted to be able to go to the beach. And of course, he couldn't go to the beach. So we bought sand, we bought blow-up palm trees and all kinds of things. So, it's little things like that that opened up my eyes to the potential of ways that we could help other people. And it's been going strong ever since. I mean, we're still providing services with them. And so Kayla presented something to me not too long ago, again, something that I would have never thought about. And it was like a yes, yes, yes. So Kayla, tell us what it is that you presented to me and now that we're providing for families.
Yes. So, like I said, legacy building is a big part of what we do, and often that takes the form of tangible objects. We know that legacy can be lots of things. It can be memories, it can be trips, it can be the things that you just mentioned.
Right.
But families often like to have tangible things to remember their kids by. So I knew that the opportunity for thumbprint charms, that was something that existed, and started looking into jewelry companies that could do that. And then I met you through my work as a child life specialist at Le Bonheur, and called my friend Amy and was like, hey, Amy, can you give me Chris's number?
Because I just talked to Amy.
Yes.
And guess what? She said, I got something that I want you to help me with.
I bet she did. I was like, hey, Amy, can you give me his number? She's like, yeah, he'll love this. Okay, good. So I called and was just telling you like the idea of what they look like, and kind of explained, it's really easy. The lady who owns the jewelry company sends me a packet. It has like a little clay circle piece. All I have to do is get the kids' fingerprint, thumbprint. They pick a birthstone or a different colored stone they'd like to go on it, and they can pick something to personalize it to put on the back, like a kid's initials or whatnot. And then we just send it back, and they send back a piece of silver jewelry. It's incredible.
So, okay, when we did the first one, I don't know how long ago, maybe a couple of months ago, what was the reaction when you presented that to that mom or these parents? What was their reaction?
Families love these. It means so much because it's something that you can wear on a daily basis. I think also families seem to like that it's a little bit understated. Like, you don't have to give someone your full story if they see this, but you can if you want to.
Right.
Like, it's not in your face that this is about a child that has passed away.
Right.
Which is a big deal for a parent that's having to constantly retell their story. We do have some families who have gone through the loss of a child in hospice more than once. So they're getting...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's hard, but they're getting this opportunity with a second child that they may not have gotten with their first. And it has been like an overwhelmingly exciting thing. There are also other options that happen within the hospital that I can't do so much living out of my car. Like, a hand mold is very hard. It's hard to carry plaster around in a hand,
right.
So this is like the perfect option. You can have it with you all the time. Families love them.
So this is what the thumb charm looks like. It's a very, very nice small piece of jewelry. It can be used as a charm for a necklace. What you call it, the wristband, the wrist
bracelets.
charm, bracelets. Yeah. There are different ways that this can be used. So what seems to be the most popular way that parents use this?
I have seen most parents put them on chains.
Okay.
But they also are able to see the fingerprint really well. And I've seen families take those things to like tattoo artists and have them turned into tattoos.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, to know that that's like able to live on your body forever
Right.
because of something that we're providing is neat.
That is cool. So what is the turnaround? Okay, say for instance, we just ordered one on Tuesday. So what is the turnaround?
10 days to 2 weeks.
10 days, 2 weeks.
Tends to be how quickly they come back. Yeah, it's fast.
Okay.
The lady's in Virginia, and so as soon as she gets them, she creates them and sends them right back.
That's wonderful.
So, all right. How do you go about letting the parents know this is what you wanting to do? I mean, of course, it's a sensitive moment,
Sure.
and of course, once you tell them, they love the idea. I mean, I get that because I would too. But how do you go about present the option to them?
Yeah, so this conversation can look a bunch of different ways, kind of depending on the family, the assessment I've made, the relationship we have. There are some families, like I said, who've been here, they've done this, they know that we have options, and I immediately, like the minute we meet, I'm like, this is something we can do. Are you interested? And usually the answer is automatically a yes. There are families who aren't quite ready to come to terms with what may happen,
Right, I
but
get that.
really love having like this type of stuff anyway. And for those families, I usually approach it as these are the things your kid would be getting if they were at preschool or if they were in daycare. Like you would be
Right.
getting handprints, footprints.
Drawings.
Yeah. So let's make some of that stuff. And I offer this as an option then. The last scenario is that the family's very, very hesitant, and I offer it once it has come up that the child is actually at end of life. And we do it then. I personally think that this works best if we can do it when the child is as awake and alert as possible. I want it to be a happy memory,
Right.
not something that happens after death.
Right.
Exactly. Wow.
You-
Well,
so much of what you've shared and the stories that you were talking about, about talking to the families and things like that, it's all about meeting people and families and kids exactly where they are, right? This is such a perfect example of that. It's a perfect example of everything that Chris and the CHF team does to meet these families where they are. What is the need? We'll meet you there. We've got you, and then everything that you're doing and presenting to these families and figuring out the best way to approach this, right? It's all completely personalized and of course it has to be in this scenario and in any scenario, but meeting the families where they are is just so precious. And I think that's another reason why this is just such a perfect
yeah, I mean,
partnership.
it's an awesome idea, and I'm glad it was presented to me.
Yeah.
But me personally, I like it if you don't call me. It's kind of like when you go to the doctor's office. Doctor, don't take it personal. I love not to be able to see you again.
Yeah. Right.
But it's not you. It's
Right.
the reason why I'm here.
That's right.
So I like for it to be that I don't hear from you again because that means that a kid isn't passing. We're not having to provide a memory for a mom or dad or aunt, uncle, or whatever the case may be. But when you call, you already know.
And but as you said too, this is part of it, right? And so how amazing to have someone like you who is taking a vested interest in these children and these families at this stage, which is got to be so taxing on you personally.
Well, thank you.
But also, just being able to present them with something so special. And I can't imagine how just heartwarming it is for the parents.
Can't even
Oh
imagine
my
what
gosh.
it'd be like. I
But-
mean, it's already one thing to get the
Yeah.
news,
Yeah.
and to have that. I mean, I could see a mom just
Yeah.
breaking down
Yeah.
right there in front of you,
It is
because I mean that's something, like I said, is everlasting.
And it is a perfect partnership. I agree because as people know, Memphis is an area with higher poverty. And so though this might be something, you or I could purchase easily, this is something that a family may not be able to afford without your help. So that is a really huge deal, being able to say, this is covered, Chris Hope covers it. You can have one regardless
Right.
to what your financial situation
Yeah,
looks
because
like.
I can see now you present it to them, and the first thing that's going in their head
What's
like,
the cost?
yeah, how much is it gonna be? You know, can I
now
get
this,
it? You know,
right?
right,
Now this is something else I have to
right,
do.
yeah. No, we got you.
It's great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, that's the thing that CHF does. It's always led with getting the answers. Yes. Now, what's the question? We've got you, and that's really special. And in this case, that's all families need to know, that someone is there for them and thinking about them and helping to support them in any way. So it's really such a beautiful thing.
Well, I appreciate you coming out here, taking time out of your day to spend time with us here at the Chris Hope Foundation to be able to tell the story. Because one of the things that I always want to do is let everybody know, how their funds are being used. What are the different things that we're providing? And we've been doing this for like 2 or 3 months, and nobody even knew that we were doing this. So, people hear from me all the time. So it's good to have you come on and they can actually hear from you. And of course, you can tell a story a whole lot better than I can. Yeah.
Well, anytime. I appreciate all that y'all are doing, and our kids and families appreciate it so much. Like I said, some of them are at a hospital that is able to give more, and some of them are not. And some of them are only following up with us and aren't being seen by hospitals. So what we can give and what we can do for them sometimes is all that they're getting help with financially from foundations. So it's a really big deal to be able to offer these things free of charge.
Well, awesome.
Well, thank you so much for being here again, and we look forward to having you on again once we're
Most
even
definitely.
further down the road.
Yeah, because I got a feeling that there's going to be more ideas that come up.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
I get that phone call. Hey, Chris, I just thought about something, between her and Amy Ford.
Now we're here. I know Amy is so wonderful.
She's my favorite idea girl.
Yeah,
she's
because
a
she got plenty
visionary.
of them.
Yes.
Yeah, she got plenty of them. As a matter of fact, I just set a date on the calendar today, I think for December 11th. I think I sent you an invite for the community Christmas.
I know, we're so excited about it.
So fun.
Yeah. So awesome. Well, thank you again.
Thank you.
And we'll be in touch. Well, I shall say that you'll be in touch.
That's
Yes.
right.
Right. So
Thank you so much for being here today and for sharing all about this. It's a hard part of life, but how amazing that people like you exist to be able to do this hard work. Thank you. Yeah.
all right, that wraps it up for this special edition of Hopecast. Stay tuned for the next episode, which will be real soon, right?
Real soon.
Yeah,
Coming at you real soon. Thanks
right.
for being here.
Talk to you later.